Biomed, Nexus Daily Updates, your essential biotech, medtech, and pharma recap. No noise, just what matters. TLDR Eli Lilly's, LLY Ajax, Therapeutics Acquisition, TUDL, 3B, April 27, received its first clinical validation. Fierce Biotech reported that early data from the novel Type 2 JAK2 inhibitor showed the drug started working right out of the gate with a good safety profile. Lilly Oncology President Jake Van Naarden shared the results on June 13th. This is the proof of concept data we have been tracking in our Catalyst calendar. The FDA approved AstraZeneca's AZN TrueCap, Capivasertib, in combination with abiraterone and prednisone on June 13 as the first and only targeted treatment for PTEN-deficient metastatic prostate cancer, according to the Pharma letter. This is a precision medicine milestone in a tumor type where biomarker-driven treatment has been limited. Kardigan Therapeutics set terms for an IPO of up to $373 million, which would make it the 13th biotechnology company to go public in 2026, according to Biopharma Dive. Kardigan is a clinical-stage cardiovascular biotech, adding to the growing cardiac pipeline on public markets. EHA 2026 European Hematology Association wrapped up in Stockholm, June 11 to 14. AbbVie presented new Phase 3 venetoclax combination data showing strong results in hematologic malignancies. Sensorion ended development of its gene therapy for OTOF-related hearing loss after the development environment had notably changed, according to Biopharma Dive. Regeneron's Otarmeni was approved in April for the same condition under CNPV. Executive takeaway: when Lilly acquired Ajax for $2.3b in April, the deal was a bet on a Phase 1 asset with no clinical data. Van Naarden told investors that proof of concept data would come later in 2026. It arrived on June 13th. The Type 2 JAK2 inhibitor started working right out of the gate, per Van Naarden, with a safety profile that appears manageable. This is the first clinical validation that binding JAK2 in the Type 2 conformation, rather than the Type 1 conformation used by all approved JAK2 inhibitors, ruxolitinib, fedratinib, pacritinib, momelotinib, produces meaningful clinical activity in myelofibrosis patients. If the data hold through dose optimization and registrational development, Lilly will have a differentiated blood cancer franchise targeting the resistance population that current therapies cannot adequately address. This is Lilly's 12-deal, 30B plus M&A strategy, producing its first clinical proof point beyond the GLP-1 franchise. Meanwhile, AstraZeneca's TrueCap approval in PTEN-deficient prostate cancer is significant for precision oncology. PTEN loss occurs in a significant proportion of metastatic prostate cancers, but has not been actionable until now. Having a biomarker-matched treatment changes how these patients are managed and creates demand for PTEN testing, which benefits the diagnostic sector. Read Full Analysis, What to Watch, Ajax Registrational Development. Van Naarden indicated Lilly would rapidly advance the JAK2 inhibitor into registrational trials. Watch for Phase 2-3 trial design and initiation timeline. BIO International Convention. Next week, June to 22nd to 25, San Diego. The industry's largest partnering event. Deal announcements, pipeline presentations, and strategic updates. Revolution Medicines, CNPV filing. Now, 2 weeks post-ASCO plenary. The filing is the most awaited regulatory event of the summer. Lilly Foundayo T2D filing, confirmed at ADA. Imminent under CNPV. Medicare, GLP-1, Bridge, July 1st. 16 days out. Clinical and research updates. Ajax, JAK2 inhibitor, shows early clinical activity in myelofibrosis. LLY Fierce Biotech reported on June 13th that early data from Lilly's Ajax Therapeutics Type 2 JAK2 inhibitor, AJ111095, showed the drug started working right out of the gate with a good safety profile. Lilly Oncology President Jake Van Naarden shared the results. AJ1-11095 is a first-in-class oral once-daily inhibitor that binds the type 2 inactive conformation of JAK2, distinct from all approved JAK2 inhibitors, which bind the type 1 active conformation. The drug is designed to deliver deeper disease control and address resistance in patients who have progressed on existing therapies. Lilly acquired Ajax for up to 2/3B in April. The Phase 1 AJX101 trial, NCT06343805, is enrolling patients with myelofibrosis who have been previously treated with a type 1 JAK2 inhibitor. AstraZeneca Truqap, approved as first targeted treatment for PTEN-deficient prostate cancer. AZN, the FDA approved AstraZeneca's Truqap capivasertib in combination with abiraterone and prednisone on June 13 for adult patients with PTEN-deficient metastatic castration-sensitive prostate cancer, MCSPC, according to the Pharma letter. This is the first and only targeted treatment approved for this molecularly defined prostate cancer population. PTEN loss, which occurs in a significant proportion of metastatic prostate cancers, drives resistance to standard hormonal therapies. Truqap is an AKT inhibitor that targets the PI3K-AKT pathway activated by PTEN deficiency. The approval creates a companion diagnostic requirement for PTEN testing, expanding the diagnostics opportunity in prostate cancer. Capital Markets Kardigan sets IPO terms at up to 373 menis for cardiac drug. Pipeline Kardigan Therapeutics set terms for an IPO that could raise up to 373 megas, according to Biopharma Dive. The company would be the 13th biotech to go public in 2026 with a pipeline of clinical-stage cardiovascular programs. The cardiac focus is notable. Cardiovascular biotechs have been underrepresented in the 2026 IPO wave, which has been dominated by oncology and metabolic disease companies. Kardigan's debut follows AstraZeneca's Baxfendy approval, first new hypertension mechanism in 2 decades, the new AHA-ACC-LDL guidelines, and the Asundexian NDA acceptance, all of which signal renewed investor appetite for the cardiovascular space. Hematology EHA 2026, RAP, AbbVie, venetoclax. Data, the European Hematology Association. Congress wrapped up in Stockholm, June 11th to 14. AbbVie presented new Phase 3 data on a fixed-duration venetoclax-based combination in hematologic malignancies, according to the Pharma letter. Venetoclax, Venclexta, is a cornerstone of AbbVie's hematology franchise and continues to expand its label through new combination regimens and fixed-duration treatment protocols. EHA also featured updates on CAR-T real-world outcomes, bispecific antibodies in myeloma, and emerging cell therapies. Gene therapy and diagnostic sensorian exits, hearing loss. Gene therapy after Otamini approval. Biopharma Dive reported that Sensorion ended development of its gene therapy for OTOF-related hearing loss, citing a notably changed development environment. The change is directly attributable to Regeneron's Otamini, which was approved under CNPV in April as the first gene therapy for genetic hearing loss. Sensorion's exit illustrates how fast follower programs can become unviable once a first mover secures approval and establishes the treatment paradigm. For the diagnostic sector, the Otamini approval creates demand for OTOF gene testing in newborns, an emerging opportunity in genetic screening. The week in review, June 8th, Monday, Parabilis IPO, 475 meter terms. Roche chairman called tariffs blackmail. Biogen Solanison breakthrough for SMA. June 9th, Tuesday, GSK Nuvalent, $10, 6B. Insight, Vega, Wooders, 25B. Hadea, Foundayo beat semaglutide in T2D, filing confirmed. June 10th, Wednesday. Biospace, Lilly, 25B+, captures half of pharma capacity. Sanofi Rilaprubat, Phase 3, stopped. Hikma, 267 Midland, Ohio. June 11th, Thursday. Novo CEO Dustar competitiveness interview. CDMO boom analysis, Merck buys Wuxi Island. EHA 2026 opens, June 12th, Friday. CDMO landscape analysis, 12 IPOs at 300 normative median, Pfizer weighs German investment, June 13th, Saturday. Ajax JAK2 early data validates Lilly's 2-3B. AstraZeneca TrueCap approved for PTEN prostate cancer. The week ahead, June 2010 to 25 Bio International Convention, San Diego. Imminent, Revolution Medicines. CNPV NDA filing. Imminent, Lilly Foundayo T2D filing under CNPV. July 1st, Medicare. GLP-1 bridge program launches. July 31st, Section 230 pharma tariffs, effective, large companies. August 22nd, Capricor, Duramio Cell, PDUFA, Duchenne Cell Therapy. Read, full analysis, Biomed, Nexus. Pro, Institutional Intelligence Brief, Ajax. From thesis to data, when we covered the Lilly Ajax 2-3B acquisition on April 28th, we noted, Lilly is paying 2-3B for a preclinical thesis that has not been proven in humans. The data later this year will determine whether this was a visionary acquisition or an overpay. The data are here. Van Naarden says it is working. The early signal validation matters for two reasons. For Lilly, it confirms the type 2 JAK2 mechanism has clinical activity, reducing the probability that the 2-3B was spent on a drug that does not work in humans. The path to registrational development is now open. For the field, all approved JAK2 inhibitors bind type 1. If type 2 binding proves to deliver deeper, more durable responses, it validates an entirely new approach to treating myelofibrosis and potentially other myeloproliferative neoplasms, polycythemia vera, essential thrombocythemia. Next steps: dose optimization in the Phase 1 expansion, followed by Phase 2-3 design. The registrational trial will likely focus on patients who have failed type 1 JAK2 inhibitors, a clearly defined resistance population with high unmet need. Precision oncology, PTEN in prostate TrueCap's approval, creates a new clinical workflow. Patient diagnosed with metastatic prostate cancer 2. PTEN testing performed, immunohistochemistry or next-generation sequencing. If PTEN-deficient, TrueCap plus abiraterone plus prednisone 4. If PTEN intact, standard abiraterone plus prednisone. This is the first time prostate cancer treatment has been stratified by a molecular biomarker beyond androgen receptor status. For diagnostics companies, Foundation Medicine, Guardant, Natera, Exact Sciences, PTEN testing becomes a reimbursable clinical requirement for a significant proportion of metastatic prostate patients. The cardiovascular IPO signal Kardigan's 370 Mentis terms mark the first cardiovascular-focused biotech IPO of significant size in 2026. The cardiac space has lagged oncology and metabolic disease in both deal activity and public market interest. But the fundamentals are improving. Baxfendy approval, first new hypertension mechanism in 2 decades, new AHA, ACC, LDL guidelines, expanding addressable populations, Asundexian NDA accepted, first factor XEA inhibitor, Bridge Bio Atrobi ATTR-CM data, challenging Pfizer tafamidis, Verve base editor cholesterol data, permanent LDL lowering. Kardigan's ability to raise $373 million in a cardiovascular IPO signals that investors are starting to value cardiac innovation at the same multiples they have historically reserved for oncology and rare disease. Catalyst calendar, June 2026. Forward date, event, tickers, June 22-25 BIO International Convention, San Diego. Multiple imminent Revolution Medicines. CNPV NDA filing RVM imminent Lilly. Foundayo T2D filing under CNPV LLI 1026 DDSUMT NIB PDUFA ROS1 NSCLC GSK NUVL 2026 NILADOKIB PDUFA ALK NSCLC GSK NUVL Q3 2026 Revolution Medicines Daraxonrasib approval projected at Truist RVMD July Yun Medicare GLP-1 Bridge Program launches LLY NVO Q3 2026 Teva Emalex close expected Teva Q3 2026 GSK Nuvalent close expected GSK July 31 section 232 pharma tariffs effective, large companies. Multiple August, 22 Capricorn Deramio Cell, PDUFA, Duchenne Cell Therapy, CAPRH2, 2026 Merck, SAC TMT Global Filing, expected MRKH2, 2026 Foundayo, T2D Regulatory Action, expected LLYH2, 2026 Ajax Registrational Trial Initiation, expected LOI 2026 Triumph H2, Retade True Tide, T2D, readout, expected LOI 2026 Triumph H3, Retade True Tide CV Disease, readout, expected LOI DEC 2026, Mineralist Lorandrostat, Bedufamli S 2027 Retade True Tide launch anticipated, BMO Licept, 19 Ultragenics, UX111, PDUFA, Sanfilippo Type A, Gene Therapy. Rare Sept 29 Section 232 Pharma Tariffs, effective all other companies. Multiple Deck 7 Lilly Investment Community Meeting LLY, visit the Pro Hub read. Full article, is your company listed in the Biomed Nexus directory? 2,104 companies across 14 categories. Claim or upgrade your listing. Sponsorship slots for 2026 are limited. See packages and pricing. New Biomed Nexus Signals, weekly sales intelligence for life sciences BD teams. Learn more